What is up, everybody? Episode 7. We are live. We have an amazing interview lined up with Jodie Sweetin. Jodie Sweetin, the Jodie Sweetin. Let me hit go live here. Perfect. As we wait for her, there's a recent video we shared on Substack. First, follow MrCheckpoint on Substack, and then it's on the website here on MrCheckpoint.com. We shared it on Instagram, and it's the tragic story of Seja Rivera, the 21-year-old who, well, there's just so many questions. And CHP West Valley apparently is responsible because they showed up. Well, they tried to pull him over. We don't even know why they pulled him over. And then, what's up, Instagram? What's up, YouTube? Let me know in the chat if you can hear us. Let me know the sound's good. Let me know where you're tuning in from. They pull him over for a reason we don't know. The family doesn't even know. The family does not know why he was pulled over. Family does not know why it ended up in a chase, and the family does not know why it resulted in several gunshots that led to his death. So I found the number, I believe, of the department here. Let's see. We're gonna call. Can you hear that?
You have reached the California Highway Patrol West Valley Area Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., except state holidays. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
What? Wait, what? What kind of nonsense was that? Try again. I guess I'll hit a button faster. Did I do something wrong there? What?
You have reached the California Highway Patrol West.
That was an invalid entry.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., except state holidays. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time. Thank you.
That was an invalid entry.
Oh my god.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
Dude, what?
That was an invalid entry.
If this is an emergency, please hang.
That was an invalid entry.
I don't know how to
If
get
this is
someone
an
on the phone
emergency,
here.
Please hang up and dial 911. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I guess because it's after 5. So we'll call back tomorrow. I believe it's because it's after 5. It's 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 an awful story that a lot of people should be calling the department for and asking what is going on. As we saw, or as you'll see, the media was portraying a story, and that's typically what happens is uh, the police assassinate someone, and then the police give a narrative to the media and the news that is typically false, typically a lie, and then the media publishes all of that. So after making a victim or ending someone's life, they paint that person as a criminal and as a monster. And I've heard it said as, they assassinate the person and then the character. And it's what they do. And it's sad, and it's why it's so important, the work that I believe that we do of telling and amplifying the stories of those impacted by police violence. So we are going to be doing an interview with Jodie Sweetin. She's going to be joining us any minute. Let me see here. This was the story we just shared. We called the police department, but they're, I suppose, not answering because it's after 5. So, um, we did just relaunch the MrCheckpoint.com site. I'll post it here on the screen. Right here. It's got a little makeover here. So we're putting out stories almost every day. Almost every day. We're able to publish stories here and all over the country. This one is about Ryan Gaynor. We shared some interviews that we had with his sister. And there's actually a whole section here, West LA VA. West LA VA. This is where you can get a ton of information, interviews about the West Los Angeles VA. You can also go here and you can send an email to end veteran homelessness. If you click on this link, it'll open up the petition in your email browser, or you could just copy and paste this. As you see here, you just copy and paste into your message section, and then this would be the subject, and then this is who you would send it to. And all these people, one way or another, have something to do with the VA. What up, EJ74? Peace to you. Appreciate that. Thank you. And then, of course, we got some more info. We have a wild interview here that it talks about a lot of scrupulous business that's leading Los Angeles to be our nation's capital of veteran homelessness. And in these interviews, they talk about Italian villas being purchased, expensive cars, all under the guise of housing homeless and disabled veterans. So definitely check out MrCheckpoint.com. If you have any stories, videos that you think we should see, you could submit them to MrCheckpoint.com/submit. MrCheckpoint.com/submit. And yeah, this is episode 7. We have 6 episodes we've done before this. You can actually also find those on the website. There is a tab here that's podcast. Oh, yep, podcast. And here you could see the Twitch, the Kick, the YouTube, and you could watch the previous episodes here on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, episode 4, 3, 2. And we're building this out. If you have any recommendations for a guest, or you think there's someone that should become a sponsor, info@MrCheckpoint.com. That's info@MrCheckpoint.com. So yeah, we're super excited to interview Jodie Sweetin. Jodie Sweetin. I'm excited. I was trying to think how I connected with her. And I think I don't recall. I know we've connected many times, but I don't recall how or what. So we're looking forward to chatting with her. She has a couple very interesting perspectives, and there are many reasons why I thought she'd be a good person to speak to. I'm a big fan of who she is and what she does. Probably know less about the show she was on than most, most definitely. But big fan of who she is and what she stands for. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. If you don't follow her, or you must already, but Jodie Sweetin on IG, Jodie Sweetin. She shares good stuff. And she also has a podcast as well. She also has a book. She's got a book as well that we're going to talk about. Never thought I'd say this. Oh, and she has a podcast where, How Rude podcast, where she watches old episodes. She's rewatching the episodes of Full House. So she had said, like, obviously I see some comments about calling CHP again. I think they're closed after 5 p.m. So I think that's the issue we just ran into. But yeah, How Rude podcast. So she said she had filmed the show for, I mean, how long? And that she had never seen any of the episodes. So that podcast, How Rude podcast, is her watching the episodes with must be like her co-host back then. I mean a yeah, the other person is Andrea Barber. Yeah, very interesting. Um, all right, cool. Let's see here. Let me check the comments on this side. Yeah, appreciate that. Someone was asking. Good to know. I'll check out her stuff. Yeah, very dope. And I think after hearing the kind of person she is, I mean, she's awesome. She's amazing. She's amazing. Someone said Justice 8 is not over yet. That's absolutely correct. Alex Enamorado is still locked up. He has been locked up for, my God, it must be 6, 7, 800 days now. I think it's been 2 years or coming up on it, if not. Um, he is absolutely being retaliated against for being a advocate for marginalized communities, for street vendors. And so it's absolutely disgusting that he is still locked up. I was seeing if it had how long he's been locked up. Let's see. And then I know they had an attorney issue, and I think now they might be in a better situation, but I've heard it's been a bit of a nightmare, and my heart goes out to him without doubt. Anything we can do to amplify his voice. Let me see here. There is a video that we could watch. For people just joining, I want to let you know that we updated the MrCheckpoint.com website with a news story about Seja Rivera, and he was tragically killed by, let me go up here. He was tragically killed by the CHP. The family is demanding answers. They have a lot of questions. Why did the stop even happen? Why was there a chase? Why was there a need to kill a 21-year-old who had really just gotten home? So if you want to read more, they have a GoFundMe. We put the link at the bottom of the page here so you can, oh, here, let me go to it. I didn't see that. Was it something said gunshot wounds on the back? I mean, so they shot him in the back is what I'll have to take a look at that. This is the GoFundMe. If you can share it, if you can contribute, I know the family will greatly appreciate it. They have nothing but an uphill battle. When you lose your loved one to police, it's beyond the sadness of just losing your loved one. But instead, as I mentioned, the media, the police, they'll portray that person as as a criminal and as a monster. And so you can go to MrCheckpoint.com. MrCheckpoint.com. Let me see. Yeah. I gotta text that to myself or email it so I can. Let me see. How do I gotta email that to myself. We're gonna make sure she has the link here. Okay, sweet. Sweet, sweet. Appreciate y'all for hanging in there. If you have any guest recommendations, any sponsorship recommendations, info at MrCheckpoint.com. Info at MrCheckpoint.com. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Appreciate y'all for bearing with me. I'm just making sure she has the link. What's up? What up, Shadow Speed? What up, JAFO? Now you see the chat, right? We also got the Instagram chat going. I see you all on IG. Someone said the Fontana mayor. I think the Fontana mayor is encouraging him to be locked up. There was certainly some strange videos that we saw, and I think there may be good reason to believe that. Oh, what's up? I appreciate everyone joining in. I appreciate everyone tuning in. We did try to call the CHP West Hills. It's after 5 p.m., so I believe that's why we weren't getting anyone to answer the call, but we are going to follow up. The phone number that I found for that was 818-888-0980. If anyone has a number that I should call instead, please let me know. But I believe that's the CHP West Valley, and this is regarding Seja Rivera and him being unjustifiably killed by, I believe, the CHP. And so we send his family love, support, anything we can do. We put the story on MrCheckpoint.com. They have a GoFundMe. Let me see here. So if you go here, you could see the top, even a video and a message from his brother. And then if you go here, you click that, it will take you to the GoFundMe, which is right here. Man, 21. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that a family has to mourn this type of loss because of those we pay. To what? To what? I ask people all the time, honestly, I ask people all the time, have you ever been in a situation and then the cops came and then and then they either stopped what was happening, that is the reason you called, or they prevented something bad from happening? If you're in the chat, please let me know if you have ever experienced anybody. Nope, absolutely, man. Anything we can do for your family. I'm so sorry to hear about what you're going through. We got the older brother to Seja in the chat, Okalani. I hope I'm not saying your name incorrectly. How long since your last live? It has been like a month, hasn't it? It has been about a month. So this is the GoFundMe. Yeah. It's awful. A family shouldn't have to deal with this crap because of those we pay to protect us. Oh, right. Who here, please use the chat. Who here has ever been in a situation and then the police come and they stop or prevent the bad thing that's happening? Please, in the chat, yes or no. I really am asking, has anyone experienced a situation? If you want to join the live, Okalani, we can send you a message. We're going to send you a DM with the link and feel free to join right now. We got some time, so feel free to join the live. You can, we're going to send you a DM right now. So check. It might be from someone you don't follow, or I don't know but you're going to get a DM with a link and you'll be able to join this. Yeah. If you want to. Only if you want to. No pressure either. No pressure, no stress. You know, to have to talk about this stuff is obviously awful, and you might not be in a position or place to do so. So no issues. Again, this is going to be episode 7. If you have any guest recommendations, if you have any sponsorships that we should consider, info at MrCheckpoint.com, info at MrCheckpoint.com. And we appreciate it and help us continue. This is going to be episode 7, interviewing Jodie Sweetin, the world-renowned actor, actress, activist, mom, author, amazing human. Look forward to chatting with her. Okay. Uh, I'm not sure. He said, I got the notifications before, was not sure if shadow banned. It's possible, but double check. Make sure that your notifications are on. Sunday said, and I'm assuming you're speaking from personal experience. You said they've never made any situation better. Have never stopped anything bad. I mean, let me know if I want, please answer the question. Have you ever called the police or needed the police? They came and they made the situation the reason you called for them, they made it better or they prevented the bad thing from happening. I find typically when people need the police and they call them, most times what people tell me is that the officers or the people, the police, whoever, they came late. It took them a long time to come. And when they came, they were rude. They didn't want to fill out the police report. They didn't want to, they didn't want to, I mean, just look at Robb Elementary when you had officers in an elementary school getting hand sanitizer while kids were being shot. They have no duty to protect us. And we should consider alternatives, specialists that show up, qualified professionals that show up when there's emergencies, suicide, drug overdose, homelessness, mental health. We don't need a person with a gun to show up in every situation. And we don't want them to get more training. We don't need people with guns. There are people who are brave, who will risk their life, who don't need to have authority over anything. Look at firefighters. They have no need to show dominance or authority over anything. And they risk their life for the better of the community. We definitely need other programs. And Cahoots is something that Eugene, Oregon, I believe, though it didn't get funded. I think we need to, just like the police, right? The police didn't start out as big as it did. It was actually, originally Slave Patrol. And then we've just continued to buy into the false idea that police make us safer. And so we've created all these different agencies and acronyms to give the police more money. SWAT, um, uh, the bomb explosive enforcement uh, unit. I mean, the amount of unit. There's undercover units. There's detectives. Here, let me look up something. Let me actually look up something. How many units are there in police? Let's see. I mean, let's see. They have all these specialized units. Okay, specialized units. And again, it didn't start that way. So my point is, I think that the fire department should have a hiring spree and should hire people who want to do special tasks to help save people's lives in the community. And so you get people who are really well trained with mental health that are also brave, right? They understand the situation. They also could have devices that give them protection, but they don't need a gun. A gun doesn't need to show up in every situation. If someone needs help and the result is death, if a parent needs help with their child and the result is the child's going to die, or a child needs help with their parent and the result is their parent is going to die, that can't exist. That should not even be possible. And so I think that we absolutely could and should use the same dollars we spend. It's the same tax dollars. Nothing needs to be funded. We just reallocate. Over 50% of our dollars go, over 50% of our tax dollars go to the police, at least here in Los Angeles. And so I think we need to reallocate those funds. Let me see something. I think we need to really reallocate those funds. That's what I think. What's up, Boogeyman213? Appreciate you for tuning in. So again, if you've had a personal experience where the police made you safer or they prevented the bad thing from occurring, please let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Please let me know in the comments. If you even know someone who's had a situation where the police stopped the bad thing from happening, prevented something bad from happening, and saved the day. I'm not going to be naive. It has happened. Okay? I'm going to say that. I believe it's happened. I just think it's statistically very low. And I just hope it's not even the exception. Whereas they really don't do that, but sometimes it happens. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So I think that's the issue, and that's what should be considered. Nothing needs to be extra funded if we reallocate the funds, the tax dollars we already spend. I was looking up something. Hold on. So SWAT, they have a canine unit. They have a traffic enforcement unit. They have a cybercrime unit. They have a homeless liaison unit. Animal control. Let's see. Show more. Air support. investigative unit, a community policing unit, a motors. See, fire department I think needs a motorcycle, and I think all the people who would work at the fire department would get body cams, and they would show up first. They don't need a gun. Yeah, Sunday, we're on the same page. I said it's happened before, but I've never met someone who even knows someone that happened to personally. I've never. I've never. Um, I believe it happens just based on odds, but I don't. It's not the norm. It's definitely just talk about. Um, I wanted to mention MrCheckpoint.com. Let me just go here. So, MrCheckpoint.com on the newly launched. We also have a tab DUI checkpoints, and this is where you can go to see all the checkpoint info. And we even got these videos dropping where we're posting them everywhere. Check out MrCheckpoint.com. We got to change that on that. But yes, and also Substack. If you want to help support in another way, become a member on Substack. Search Mr. Checkpoint on Substack. And let me just take Substack. So yeah, if you want the checkpoint alerts, a lot of people were Patreon members. We used to be on Patreon. We were there forever. That's where we were sending DUI checkpoint, license checkpoint, immigration checkpoints via text message or email. And now we have that on Substack. It's no longer on Patreon. So that's where you can get the DUI checkpoint text messages. You'll get real-time email alerts. We also are sharing all information, all videos on Substack first. So I would say 99% of videos we share on Instagram or really anywhere go on Substack first. And then we do lives. We've done some interviews. We're looking to do some more on Substack, kind of inside the app. It's an amazing app. It's got a lot of good accounts, good creators, good content. So check out Substack, search Mr. Checkpoint, become a member, and help us grow and continue. And we also got all the podcast stuff there. So it's a whole cool, good, vibing community. And we love to see you on there. We love to see you on there. But this is the new website, MrCheckpoint.com. Let me know what you think. And if you know any sponsors, info at MrCheckpoint.com, info at MrCheckpoint.com. If you know any sponsors, if you have any stories that you think we should consider, if there's any videos that you have of the police, you can go to submit here. You go to submit. And here you would submit whether it's a DUI checkpoint or an immigration checkpoint or the content. So this is where, if your video is longer, yeah, you can upload it to Dropbox, upload content, and yeah. Check out the new site. Excited to bring it. Let's see. All right. Let's do it. We're going to watch a video right now. Give me 2 seconds. Boom, share screen. All right.
Open the window for me all the way, please. Put the phone down. Put the phone down. Can you do me a favor? Open all the windows.
Open all the windows.
Open all the windows.
Why you gonna open up the window?
I need you to open all the windows for me right now. Anybody else in this vehicle?
Oh, there's nobody else in the vehicle. You can let me know.
Okay.
I'm recording.
All right. You know why I'm pulling you over right now?
Yeah, why?
Okay, I'm pulling you over because I saw you. I was driving behind you. I don't know if you noticed. You were swerving. You didn't indicate your turn signal. Okay, you can record all you want. I mean, I don't know what you're doing there.
Always film the police. First Amendment right.
Little weirdo.
Making sure.
Do me a favor. Open up all the windows. Blah blah. Let's go. Sir, why are you making this difficult?
Tell me again why
You want me to make your life difficult? Because I love making people's lives difficult.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Oh my
What
God.
are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Okay, so now, license, registration, proof of insurance.
you're gonna need
Can
to
you
tell me
get
why
off your phone?
Listen,
Your little TikTok thing?
Can you tell me why you put me on?
I just did. Are you
Matter of
deaf?
fact, can you call your supervisor?
Are you deaf?
You call your supervisor?
Oh, there's no supervisor.
Whoa. All right. There's so much wrong here. There's so much craziness. There is one thing I just want to recommend or say in the name of officer safety, and we've seen this time and time again. And the thing I'm about to say, I don't like it, but it's just the reality. Officer safety. Officers have the ability to shoot us in the back while running away and get away with it because of officer safety. And so when they say things like put down the windows and all this stuff, it can escalate. Now, I'm not saying it should, but it can, because for fear of their life, which is told, they can lie. They'll make that up, right? It's ridiculous. And what does that even mean? What's like the proof that that they were in fear for their life? They could just say that. So if they say put all the windows down, I recommend you do that. If they say get out of the car, I definitely recommend you do that. But let's keep watching. And this guy's awful. If you ask for a supervisor, you're definitely supposed to get one.
There is no supervisor. I'm the most senior officer on the road right now.
Oh, listen.
So,
Oh God.
I would be said supervisor.
I'm gonna let you listen to my music.
Okay, so that's how we're gonna play. All right, step out of the vehicle for me. Step out of the vehicle for me. Okay, put the phone down.
Listen.
Hold on. Actually, you know
listen.
what? Do you have any weapons on? Do you have anything you're not supposed to have on you in the car?
Listen.
Do you have anything you're not supposed to have on you in the car, sir?
listen.
You're gonna make this difficult.
Can I step out the vehicle?
Can you
then?
just
listen?
answer the question first?
I'll step out the
Keep
vehicle
your hands
for you.
on the wheel.
I'll step out
Listen
the
to
vehicle
me,
for you.
follow my directions, and this can go very easy.
Listen, sir.
Listen,
Do you
sir,
want me to get out the car or you don't?
I want you to follow my directions like you just did, like a good boy.
I'm
Oh. Oh. No.
All right?
I'll follow your directions.
Okay.
Now, did you want
Do
me to
you
get out
have
the car or
any
don't?
What?
weapons or anything you shouldn't have in a vehicle or on your person at this moment?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Do you have a firearm on you? Do you have a license to carry a firearm if you do?
Are we in Florida? Even if I
Sir,
did have a license on me,
answer
you don't
my
even
question.
need
What is this
to
back
have
and
what
forth?
you're talking
Okay,
about.
get out of the vehicle. Okay.
All right, listen.
Hands over here.
I got a gun
Hands over
right here on my side.
Okay, put your hands up then.
I got a gun on my side.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor?
226, I'm gonna have it totally mailed.
Listen,
Now
look
listen
at my
to me.
shirt.
Rush
Listen,
that back up.
While you searching me,
Spread your feet out.
while you searching
feet
me,
out.
sir,
Put your feet out.
while you searching me,
Where's it?
This is wild. I just want to acknowledge someone commented, officer is waiting on a bike west of Sunset and Cesar Chavez and Figueroa in Los Angeles. That's a real-time alert that just came in on IG Live. We'll continue the video.
Where's the gun?
please.
Where's the gun?
On my
Where's the
right,
gun?
right hand. On my right hand.
For my safety and your safety.
Always for that.
Hey, but make sure when you do that, while you're searching me,
Is this real?
Muscles, aren't
my gun
Is this
right on
real?
my chest.
Oh, wow. Oh, on your chest, huh? So we're lying today. Are you a gangbanger? Is that what you're doing here? You're selling drugs?
It's me?
Oh,
No.
okay.
Okay.
Don't
I'm
move.
sitting in the parking lot.
Don't move. You have a license to carry this?
We're in Florida, right?
But, do you have a
I sure enough do.
Okay.
You know what?
It's called a, hey buddy,
It's around my neck.
it's called a concealed carry permit.
Listen, my license is around my neck.
Oh,
I carry it around my neck.
okay. Well, first let's see what else you got. See, you're lying a bit. Hey, didn't I spread your feet apart? Spread your feet apart, huh? fucking scary. Oh shit.
This is what we're doing.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Listen, can you make sure you get my
What is this?
can you make sure you get my license to carry? My license to carry is on my chest.
Is this fake? You know, a lot of people like to act like they're cops.
Federal agent.
Oh, right. Where's the ID?
Is this
Check that.
real?
Do me a favor.
Federal agent.
Okay.
So now my
against-
badge don't even make a
Lean
difference.
against the car. Lean against the car. Lean against the car. So you're a cop. So why wouldn't you tell me?
It seemed like you fraudulently pulled me over.
You been drinking today?
Drinking, sir. We don't drink.
I smell alcohol emanating from the vehicle.
Actually, we're doing an investigation on.
Okay.
And just what? You just happened to pass.
216. Status of that back up.
You just happened to pass.
Okay.
So when your sergeant gets here and he realizes.
This
what's
is
going on
wild.
right
Is this
now,
real?
What's going on is that I stopped.
And
I stopped.
the badge don't make
Why
a
are you
difference?
yelling? Where's the? Okay. So I found your ID.
Because here I have
Why
a
are you-
cop
why are
who's
you
doing
being
some
difficult
things
today?
that's wrong. Tell me why, as a police
Why are you
officer,
shouting?
tell me why another police officer in handcuffs.
You didn't identify
Over a
yourself.
swerve?
You didn't identify yourself as a police officer. You were swerving. You didn't indicate your turn signal.
Once again, sir, you didn't call your sergeant here neither.
There's
So
no
there's the
sergeant.
things that we supposed to do here, right?
Okay. All right. Let me get these off of you, buddy. I don't know why you're being like this. I don't know why you're being like this.
I don't know
I mean, hey,
what y'all got going on here.
what y'all got going on?
I'll tell you what.
You know, you
We
could
as
just.
agents, we're
you know,
gonna figure it out. You know,
professional
we don't like city cops. You know
Oh,
that, right?
okay. Yeah, we don't like
The
federal cops either.
agents don't like city cops.
We're alphabet
we don't
cops.
consider ourselves cops.
What are you, a pencil pusher? Man? Come on. Listen,
I
you
will
could have
put
just.
the pencil
I
on
pulled you
you.
over. You could have just identified yourself as police officer, and this would have been done.
You do it so we
I
don't
would have
get
said,
pulled.
you know what? I would have said, of course.
Does anyone know if this
When I
is
showed you my
real?
badge and you grabbed my
This
badge, you
is
still didn't believe
wild.
it was real.
Because people impersonate officers all the time.
This is
Do they not?
weird.
When I see a
They don't-
sergeant,
they
I'll
don't
make
teach
sure.
you.
When I see your sergeant, we'll make sure.
Well, we don't have to go that far, okay?
No, we won't. We'll go farther than that.
I can't
We'll make sure we
tell.
talk to them. We'll make
I
sure we
mean,
do a
they're
lot of
selling
things.
it.
I'm pretty sure you probably have other offenses against you. But you have a nice day. And I continue to have a mind.
Listen,
I
listen,
appreciate you, sir.
listen.
Sir, I appreciate you.
You have a good day,
Thank you much.
Captain.
I don't know. I don't know. That's wild. That's crazy. Oh, wow. Good timing. Let's see here. I'm going to hit. Hi.
Hi, I am so sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
So I fell down my stairs last week on Tuesday, and not like a ha ha ha, like a trip to the ER, fell down the stairs and screwed up my back. So I've been doing physical therapy, or I just started physical therapy today, and it's always the what's your insurance and your paperwork, and I was like, anyway, I'm here. Hi.
Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
You're my favorite. I'm a big fan for not probably why many other people are, you know. We have a little intro thing we made. And I like your hoodie.
Thank you.
Helene
Thank you.
Flowers, right?
No, this is from an organization called Unlock.
I know, but the artist is Halim. It's the guy who
Yes,
did
yeah.
this.
Yes, it's that one. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a dope hoodie.
That's
And
right.
it's
Ben told me that you got that you were working with them too. Ben Gleep.
yeah. That hoodie is the most expensive hoodie and most meaningful.
Right?
It's like
I was like, okay.
8,098 locks because
Yep.
that's how many days Halim spent in prison, and he's the artist who made this piece.
Right.
And he is a amazing human, and yeah, the collab is awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really excited for it. I figured if there was a spot to wear the sweatshirt, it would be here.
Oh, I love that. We have a tiny intro thing, okay?
Okay.
All right, sweet.
That was such a lovely little intro. That was so
Right?
great.
Shout out Johnny. He's the best.
Right? Thank you, Johnny. I'm super impressed. That was awesome. I'm gonna, just gonna
Um,
record that and use it as my intro. Everywhere.
we'll send it to you anytime, anything. So I guess I where to begin? I think how did we connect? Do you recall?
We connected in 2020 when we kind of always, everybody was fucking online and we were doing a lot of, protesting here in LA. And I think we had like just mutual friends from on the ground, and had like started following each other, and we're like chatting back and forth. And then it was like, hey, let's, like meet when we're out there at some point. And then, and then you and I have been friends ever since.
Yes. And like I've seen you at countless things that would be like, of course you would be there, but I didn't know or wouldn't think. And you've shown up like in so many spaces and places. It's really inspiring, truly. Like
Thank you. Thank you. It's like I wish there were 10 of me, because for all the things that I want to do in the places that I want to be. And, I beat myself up when I can't make it to everything or show up for everything or be, because I'm super passionate about this. I mean, there's so many things that need to be addressed in the country, and just for lots of reasons. And that was why you and I connected. And we met for coffee, like one of the first few times, and you and I just chatted it up for several hours.
I know, and I was like shocked on so much and like it just a lot made sense. You were just at an event, right? Downtown?
Yeah, it was the 55th, the 50501 movement downtown, and they had organized they were organizing protests all over the country on April 5th. So it was that one was from, I think that one was from, oh yeah, that is what it was from. And oh yeah, my hat. The best part is the Daily Mail article that came out, that said, what was it? Star not seen in years emerges wearing obscene hat. And they had the picture of me in the hat and whatever. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I've never spoken in front of a crowd like that before. And as I walked up there, I was like, maybe I should have written something down. But yeah,
We have a little clip from it.
okay. Oh my God, amazing.
Can we watch? Yeah, let's watch.
I also want to say that there are a lot of people out here that have been doing this a lot longer than I have. And I want to give all of those people credit, because they have laid the groundwork for what it's going to take. They have been prepping and ready for this mass movement. They have been planning for all of us to join. So I hope you are ready. Are you ready? One more time. Are you ready? Thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
Wow, what a huge moment and like
It was
crowd and
It was great. It was great. And I know a lot of people here in LA were, saying that like there was, there's always issues with every movement. I think representation was something that we definitely wanted to see a little bit more of, but I'm also of the mind that I'm like, I will be at everything, I just am trying to like be as many places as possible, because I don't think, we're just seeing so many people shut down or acquiesce ahead of time. And so I'm just not that person.
what are like the causes top of the list for you at this moment you feel are like?
I mean, at this moment, it's really just fucking anti-fascism, you know, like it's just like what are we doing? What's happening? What is this, you know? And while I may not agree with all of the systems that were in place before, you know, Trump took office, and I have plenty of problems with our two-party system and think we need a huge reform there, but it wasn't on fire like it is now. And I think that's, you know, it's really scary when you listen to, you know, I listen to Behind the Bastards, which is one of my favorite podcasts. And, you know, you hear them going, I don't know, should you flee? Well, and I'm like, wait, flee? Oh, no, like, we're there. And and like, legit, it is, you know, that is
It's pretty
the
terrifying. It feels like beyond, it feels like beyond backwards, because like I feel like it's never been so bad in my life.
It
I don't know,
hasn't.
or I don't
Yeah,
think
it
so, right?
hasn't.
So it's like not even backwards, it's like dystopia, and so it's scary. And like when all these
Yeah.
awful people like that I just see that were vouching for, you know, him, Trump, whatever. And now we're like, oh, just like maybe their finances, or they see this. It's like maybe he wasn't the best choice. It's like, dude,
You're
this
like,
we're in a
remember that when we were saying that on November like 3rd, and we were like, hey, he's gonna probably screw you, not probably, he's going to screw you over, and the egg prices that you're so fucking worried about are gonna, you're not even gonna be able to afford one egg. Like, forget about it. There's no eggs, no more eggs.
yeah,
You
everything
know,
is everything. It's he's impact, and yeah, it's scary. And it's also, it goes to show what those, to most of those people actually care about, right? It was their personal finances, their personal gain, and
right?
just
And I
like,
and I
wow,
get
how
that. Like,
obvious. Right, right.
yeah, yeah, I
That
get that,
exists
but I
too.
think it's more the point that we were all like, but the actual factual information, like, you're not gonna get the result you want. And I think that's almost the disappointing part, because I know these people are just trying to support families and their kids and have a chance and be able to afford rent or healthcare or whatever. Um, and you know, I think they're finding out now that the politicians are just as much of a liar on the right as they. You know, it's I just I'm blabbing on now, but I get
Yeah.
really frustrated.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's like my
awful.
biggest thing right now that I've just been a part of, is working on that. But I also, you know, criminal justice reform is really important to me. Obviously, I'm a huge advocate of education over incarceration, or at least when people are incarcerated, that they have the opportunities to educate themselves. You know, so many people who are incarcerated don't have high school education, and so how do we expect them to be able to do something when they get out? You know, I think it's really important. I've had a lot of friends who have been in that position, and it's not easy, you know. And I just am really hoping that at some point we can, you know, see it more as a lot of places in Europe do, which is like, you send someone there to actually change their behavior and you give them the tools to do so. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I find it fascinating, like knowing you and just your story and what you've shared really publicly about like addiction and your struggles, right? And drugs, and how like the war on drugs, right? How there's like hundreds of thousands of people right now locked up in a cage
Yeah,
for consuming drugs or possession of drugs, right?
yeah, exactly.
Um, how do you, I mean, did you personally ever have like issues with the law and that? Because I never hear you talk about that, right? You like talk about stories, but it
Right.
wasn't like I went to prison, I got locked
No,
up.
I never, and I always say I know it is entirely because of how I look, that I am fortunate that that didn't happen to me. Um, and that's bullshit. That shouldn't be, you know, I'm not saying I want to go to prison. What I mean is, the fact that I am, you know, a little white girl, I didn't get pulled over in the same situations or at the same rate that I would if I were a person of color. I did, you know, there were a lot of things that um, that made it easier
And you
for me
didn't
to
need,
talk about.
right, but I find what's so like interesting is you didn't need that either, right? Like it's not, that's not the answer because look at you now, right? You didn't need prison to
Yeah,
find sobriety, to find hope, to get out of these like really bad states. Prison actually has like the highest rate of going back, right? So
yeah,
whether, no matter what you did, right? So
exactly.
it's like I find what you like your story to be so inspiring because it's, look, you didn't need to go down that path. You found other ways to like help get out of it. And um yeah.
Yeah, was definitely not pretty, and I've definitely made a mess of things along the way, and probably still do in some ways, but I try to do it a lot less and try to, if I do, and I just try to make it right, you know. But I think it gave me so much perspective too, of a world much bigger than what I was in growing up, you know. And I think the amount of empathy and understanding that one has when you have been through hell and back, it changes your perception of what you see, other people going through, you know, who are struggling with addiction or who are unhoused or who have mental health issues. It just really it changes your perspective on how unjust the system is, and how, just by a tweak of a few things, I have access to certain things and other people don't, and that's not how this world should work at all. And that being said, I also have had two kids without health insurance. I didn't have, there was a long period of time I didn't have health insurance. And let me tell you, it's really expensive. I wasn't able to pay it off, all kinds of stuff. Like, I think going through a lot of the ups and downs gave me the ability to be like, oh, yeah, you know what? Like, life is not easy. And because I made it through to the other side, I feel like I have to help others to find that way.
Is there anything you wish more people, the public and others, knew about the recovery process for people that are going through that?
What I always tell people, and I think the hardest thing is that you can try and save someone, but ultimately you have to allow them the dignity of their own experience, which can be rather undignified. And there is no amount of love or anger or money or anything that is going to allow them to hit that place that they need to get to in order to want to change things, unless it's ready, unless they're ready to have that moment. And sometimes, I always tell people too, relapse was a huge part of my story. I was in and out, and sometimes that's a part of it and sometimes it's not. But um it's I try and remember what it was like when I was really new, and I was, the first time I got sober, I was like barely 18 years old. And I knew I had to get sober. I was already a fucking disaster. And it was up and down for a long time. And then now I'm just too old and none of that shit sounds fun. I like to take a nap. So
The career you had nothing to do with having to get sober by 18. No.
right. Well, you know what? I wish I had stayed sober at 18. It took about 10 more years. But yeah, I always say, this business, I don't think creates addiction, but I think that it certainly fans the flames, and that often the people who are attracted to the nature of this business, their creativity, the sort of the ever changing stuff, a lot of times those really creative spirits tend to struggle with addiction, struggle with depression, struggle with anxiety, you know, with all of which I do. And, you know, I think I always say that I would have had these issues with addiction, whether or not I had been on TV. The only difference in being on TV was that then everybody else knew about the problems, you know? Um,
Right, which makes it, I mean, obviously unimaginable, to
oh
say
yeah,
the
I mean,
least.
for
Right,
my parents too. My mom was just like,
right.
"Oh, good God, what now?" You know? Um, yeah, it makes it, you know, you live your life under a microscope, and that was 20 years ago, you know, longer. That was all of that stuff was going on. Now, you know, people ask me all the time now, like, "Hey, would you want to be, you know, a child actor now, or would you put your kids in the business now?" And I'm like, absolutely not. The nature of it has changed. Social media has, I mean, social media has ruined a lot of things, but there's so much pressure now on young people who are well known to not fuck up. And that's not life. Like that's not how we learn and get through things. And so, you know, these young people have so much writing on it, and everyone is just, you know, people love to take someone else down. So there's camera phones, and there's, you know, paparazzi, and there's, you know, text and whatever, screenshots of things, and it's just too much, I think, for young people, to be that exposed, on a big platform level, you know. And again, this is to say nothing of the, you know, 47 million followers of like the TikTok stars or whatever, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
just growing up in that way,
Oh, right.
is, I know it was hard for me, and I can't imagine going through it today.
Mm. I mean, look, these settings are like stressful for any adult, and then putting a kid in it is like, you know, it's going to have an impact, and that's a ton of pressure,
For
and
sure. And I loved it, you know. So I was one of the fortunate kids that, like, I enjoyed going to work. I worked on a set where people actually gave a shit about the kids and were really loving and welcoming, and would rearrange schedules if there was an important school event, you know, that we really wanted to go to. Like, it was not a toxic environment that you hear, uh, about all the time.
existed back then, right?
That
Of
exist, right,
course.
that still exists today, and it
Mm.
was not that at all, and it still was hard, you know. So it's like, I can't imagine, not having, you know, a family that was normal, and supportive, and like not impressed with show business, you know.
Hmm.
I just can't imagine some of the things that young actors that I see, you know, what they go through today in just a very, you know, public environment. And that's,
Yeah.
you don't realize what you've lost there until it's gone. And I never really knew it. So for me, not having anonymity my entire life has just been something that I never expected, really. I mean, I started acting at 4.
Wow.
So I never, you know, and
Wow.
starting doing like Full House at 5, you know. So by the time I really have most of my memories, they all involve Full House, being on TV, being traveling, you know, on weekends, and going to regular school, and then leaving at lunch to go rehearse. And, you know, it has, I have a lot of, um, really great memories, but it was stressful.
You're like the most down to earth, realist, genuine person. No, but like there's such a uh I don't know. It's like most people aren't like that, especially right from this industry, and it's like, wow, you are such a breath of fresh air, and like how just real you are,
Thank you.
and it's so awesome. I know you didn't have any situations with police being like in trouble, but
Yeah, I didn't get
you
arrested.
did,
And it
right,
wasn't
but
for lack of trying, that's for sure.
right. But you did you were married to an officer, right?
I was married to a cop, and I was married to him. I wasn't married to him before he became an officer, but we were dating before he went to police academy. And he didn't really ever even want to be a cop, but his dad was, and his brother was, and his uncle was a chaplain for LAPD. And it was kind of like, I mean, all right, I need the health insurance and it's a steady gig. He was a musician and like wanted to do nature photography. And we were together then, and I was getting loaded while we were together, and he didn't know, and it was very messy. But I again gained a lot of knowledge and information that I feel has helped me to speak a little bit more, to speak with a little more knowledge on some of the things that I actually, care about. Again, criminal justice reform and, police brutality and things like that. It's not that I don't know both sides.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective, to be in love and with someone who has that role. Did you see like any specific like things or notice anything in particular, or
It changed him. It did. He wound up working in one of the hardest precincts right out of academy. And, I remember, there were things that he would say or come home and just be like, God, I just don't know, like I saw somebody do this and I can't do anything.
somebody
You see
being one of his coworkers?
like one of his coworkers, and like you're brand new on the job, you still got a shaved head and you got to wear long sleeves. Like you don't say anything. You want a job, and that doesn't at all make it right. And the system of policing is fucked up, and all of that. But I do understand what it's like also to not hear from the person you're married to who happens to be a police officer for nearly 48 hours because they've been involved in an incident and it's Christmas and they didn't show up. That is also a kind of terror. And I think, I understand that a little bit. And so, when people are like, oh, you just hate police. I'm like, no, actually, like, I mean, yes, but, but
They're
I
human.
know they're human. They're human.
Right,
Individually, they
right.
are human. Together, they are a system that needs to be, abolished and changed and all of that. But, I also know that those people, everybody goes home at the end of the day and goes like, and, lays down. And I know that there are probably a lot of people who lay their head down at night, who know that they have seen something that was unjust and didn't or wouldn't or couldn't say anything. And I just, I've always been really of the mind that everyone should have equity in opportunity. And that's sort of the promise, that this country has had. And we all know it's been a lie and a crock of shit from the moment we landed at Plymouth. But I also think that like people like you and people that are out there in the streets and are involved in doing things, like I also think that has the capacity to actually live up to the dream that we've always talked about. But it's gonna have to, take a few dumpster fires along the way. So
A few ass kickings. We have a little video clip. I think it was of 2022, when it was a protest and an officer, I think, like pushed you.
oh yeah. We were downtown, and it was yeah.
Oh, this person.
That's Full House star Jodie Sweetin being tossed to the ground by the LAPD yesterday as she peacefully protested the fact that the government now has control over her.
That's what it was for.
Yeah, it was when Roe v.
Women's
Wade was essentially overturned. And I mean, needless to say, I was pretty pissed. And I don't really even know how it like it's one of those things where you start out like with a small group of people, and then all of a sudden you're like, I think there's like 300 of us. How did we, oh, okay, this is, and we had taken one of the bridges and one of the off ramps. And anyway, I was behind the police line and I was crossing back over. And that lovely officer just decided to help me a little bit more. But yeah, I ate shit, hurt myself, whatever. And Michael Ade actually was the one who got the footage.
Okay, be like Mike. That's
Yeah,
why
be
we
like Mike.
always film the police, you know?
Yeah, be
It's
like
so
Mike. And he was
disgusting.
like, he was like, because I was like, he sent me the video and I was like, I'm not gonna post it. Like, I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah,
And
right.
he was like, can I post it? And I was like, I mean, if you want to, sure. Do you like your footage? I gave you permission. And then it kind of went from there. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I like set out to do, but also it's not something that I try and avoid. So
Right, right. No, and I think I mean, look, when something like that happens to a random person, it goes so far, but to you, I think that's like the world saw, wow, what are the cops doing? Like what?
right,
Like what?
and that's I think, and what I've always said is like it's important that those of us who maybe could get more attention or have more opportunity or ability to not have the shit beaten out of us because of the way we look, like move to the front line, take it from somebody else, if you have the ability to, and be the support, and I don't mean overstep anybody, but I mean put yourself in the harm's way, because you might come to less harm than someone else would. And if that's the case, then I feel like you got to put yourself out there. I
You're a real
was joking
one.
with my friend Kim this week, and she was, or not this week, but the beginning of the year, and she said, she was like, "So, what are your goals for this year?" And I was like, "I mean, I don't know, getting arrested, I guess. Like, let's, And I'm like, I'm just keep trying, just keep
Oh,
trying, yeah."
oh yeah. No, you show up. You do it all. You act. We wrote a book, and then you have two podcasts, right?
I have one now. I was doing two for a while, and I have one now, which is a Full House rewatch podcast, actually. And it is we're going back and watching the original show because I never watched it. I didn't really care,
Is
and
that common? How common do you think that is? Or like,
it's quite common. Most actors are like,
right.
"Oh God, I don't want to watch what I did." But as a kid, sometimes it's a little bit different. Like kids are a little more impressed with it. I was like, I don't care. And also like, and then as an adult, I'm like, I'm not a sitcom watcher. It's just not dark enough for me. So,
What are you
uh,
watching? Well, yeah.
so anyway, we started doing the Full House rewatch podcast with me and Andrea Barber, who plays Kimmy Gibbler, and we just had a stupid, ridiculous time. I mean, I make fun of the show and like the ridiculous the fashion of it all, and some of the problematic jokes and just everything. It's been really fun to go back and rewatch. And we've been interviewing people that we haven't seen in like 30 years, some of the original writers for the show,
Oh,
and
that's
stuff like
cool.
that. So it's been a fun like walk down memory lane. And I also just get to be stupid and funny with my friend for, an hour and a half.
How Rude podcast, right? How Rude
It's called How
podcast.
Rude Tanneritos. We sort of combined Kimmy and Steph's little catchphrases, because
Okay.
I was like, we can't have one or the other. Like, it's a dick move. It's got to be both of us,
Oh, yeah. I
So
love that.
yeah.
And I guess the last question. What are you watching? Anything like TV, movies, anything you get
So I'm a little late. I'm not like a person that sits down and watches TV often. I read books and I build Legos because I'm a nerd. But I just finished season 2 of Severance like yesterday.
Okay.
I don't think I know what the hell I watched, but I think I loved it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, I
that's
don't like.
hilarious.
I've had this reaction before with shows where I'm like, what in the. This is great. I am so confused, but I think I'm okay with it. And that was very much Severance. And what I loved is that I couldn't tell if I was watching a comedy, a horror, or like a documentary about the shittiness of corporate life at any point. You know what I mean? Like, it was sort of
Right.
all of it. And I thought it was great. I thought the acting was great. There were some really phenomenal performances in it. And yeah, but man, the marching band, I don't know. Marching band.
Right. Wait, and is there any protests or anything going on coming up that you're aware of, or
I know that if you follow at 50501, there are like local chapters that are reposting a lot of stuff. I believe there's some things coming up on April 19th. And those are listed on there. And then there's a couple other things, but they're not for sure yet. But I try and repost all that stuff, actions and things in my stories. You can follow at Jodie Sweetin, and I will post that stuff up there. I'm not sure what their website is, but on Instagram, I know it's at 50501 movement. And then, 50501 SoCal is what, who put the stuff on here. So
we'll link it. We'll make sure to post your IG. Any comedy shows coming up?
yes, actually, I do have another comedy show coming up. I have a show on May 24th, which is and it's going to be at Bespoke on Fairfax, which is the old Supreme store on Fairfax there. And it is called The Smoke Show with Sweetin, a comedy pageant. And we are having comedians and pageants meet in a way that you've never seen before. So
Boy.
it's going to be really ridiculous and fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pull up. Well, thank you so much for joining,
I'm so glad I got to
sharing.
come. And again, I'm so sorry I was late. Like,
No,
anyway,
don't sweat.
okay.
Always
But
the right timing. You're the
yes,
best.
gonna shout you out right now. I think you are one of the most intelligent, committed, humane people that I've ever met, and you do so much. And I just am really I'm very glad that we became friends, because I think you're one of those people that's actually going to make a huge difference in a real way. Maybe not like, on the world screen, but you're going to make a huge difference in what you do with all of your work. And anyway,
Only together. I appreciate you. I take that. Thank you. Really,
yeah,
that means a lot.
absolutely.
And we'll stay in touch.
Okay,
Peace.
sounds good. I'll see you later, hon. Bye, everybody.
Later.
Thanks, you guys. And ACAB all day. All right. Bye.
Bye. Let me see. Boom. Awesome. Wow. Episode 7. Shout out Jodie Sweetin. She's the realest, the best. I'm so happy she just joined us. Check us out: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, MrCheckpoint.com/live, and you could see all the places to stream it. We'll have this one up by Friday. So Friday will be live on all the channels. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace.